What's happening, my people, my peeps, my amazing, amazing, amazing group of listeners? All right, cut the crap, cut the crap. What's up, YouTube? What's up, my people? What's up, the bakery? It's your boy, Mac Diesel, the host with the most, the best, better than the rest. And we are back with another episode at the bakery. Man. How life does things and how it changes. It's interesting. And I think that's the premise and the point of this episode is finally finding peace in life and accepting what has come and accepting what is what. I think oftentimes we look at life and be like, well, why this and why that? And this is unfair. And why can I get that? And so on and so forth. But I don't think we give ourselves enough chance to have joy and embrace everything that comes with it. You know, just enjoying the little things, playing a video game, waking up, walking, breathing. There's just so many little things that we should accept rather than feel like things are just not going right. And yeah, we may feel like that, but it's part of our journey. That's just the route that we're taking right now. So, we're going to talk about finding peace within ourselves and within our life. Let's go. So, when you think about the thought of finding peace in life, you think about theoretical things like a bunch of flowers and birds chirping, nothing but sunshine, roses, and yeah, all that good stuff. The only way you're gonna find that is if you're on hallucinates. Let's be real. Now, I mean, of course, you're gonna find happiness, you're gonna find peace still, but it's not gonna come in that manner. It's gonna come in a lot of calmness and just your body just being at ease, not so uptight, not so feeling a certain way. I feel like when we wake up every day and start our day, we just begin to think about negative things. Like, I gotta go to work, or I gotta actually get up and get dressed and do something. I gotta get out of bed. And that just comes with it. Of course, we don't want to get out of bed sometimes because we want to sleep all day and we want to not go to work and we want to do this and we want to do that and blah, 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 blah. But if we don't do the things that we have to do, sometimes things tend to go downhill, right? And as far as for me, I think the subject is good because, like I've stated before, I'm in therapy myself. And talking to my therapist, this was earlier this week, I kind of explained to him, I feel like I'm so much more happier. I feel like I'm so much more at peace with everything in my life that I don't really have much of any worry going on or negativity. I think it's more so thinking of the next chapters in my life. And so when I told him that, it kind of shocked me because it was such a mature answer coming from me. And like I know I'm mature for my age. I'm a lot more mature than a lot of my peers. But at the same time, I still have room to grow. I still have room to deal with a lot of other things. So when we talk about being at peace, and I'll use myself again as an example, there was a time in my life every day where I was worried about something or I had something in the back of my mind that made me think that I wasn't doing the right thing. I had to do this. I had to do that. I had to make sure I dot my I's and cross my T's. If something's not done, I need to make sure I do it. Just it's simple stuff here and there. So it always had me on my toes. What caused it, I really don't have an answer for yet. I think it just naturally happened because I was worried, constantly worrying, constantly thinking negative to myself, like, oh my gosh, like if I don't do this, this is gonna happen. If I don't do this, this is gonna happen. And it's okay. It's okay to be on your toes. It's okay to want to be on top of things and making sure that you're not slacking off or you're not taking the wrong turn when life gets rough or when it beats you down. Just taking me for an example, like I said, I used to worry so much and not think much of myself and not and think that I'm just messing up and I'm not doing the right thing and so on and so forth. But actually going, talking to somebody, having conversation with myself, writing things down, it turned into a, a whole new thing. It was a switch that just flipped on for me. What do I mean when I say a flip switched on for me? I didn't have clutter in my mind. I think based off my experience and how I felt as though that when we as human beings, right, we want that we want that perfect lifestyle. We want the big house, the nice cars, the kids, the family, the husband and or wife. We want certain groups of people around us. We want to have all these friends. We want to live this fairy tale life, if you will. We go to work. We want to get promoted like that. We want to be a boss. We want to do this. We want to do that. And I've often had the thought of, well, what if that stuff's not real? What if that's just what movies portray to us to make us think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go for this. This is what I'm gonna do. And of course, we all have our dreams. We all have our goals that we want to reach. But also at the end of the day, we have to be real with ourselves and not put that type of pressure on our back, making us work so hard and do so much for ourselves that we lose sight of the important things. So when I say the important things, I mean relaxation, finding time for ourselves. And those may go hand in hand. Just living in the now. I feel as though sometimes that we as human beings are programmed to think a certain way that we don't take the time and just be real with ourselves. Like just just sit down somewhere. I think we often just want to be this and be that we don't just chill. We want to be constantly just I got to do the next thing. I got to do next thing. And we also just look at other people and we look at our peers and we look at people that have been doing certain things for so long that has gotten them to a successful point that we automatically just think that we're failing. Why does it have to go that route? Why do we have to feel like we're failing even though we're not? I used to do it all the time growing up in middle school and high school and even through college, just comparing myself. And I know I'm not the only one that does that. We all do that. Even the people that are already successful, I'm sure they look at other people and be like, "Dang, like maybe I could be doing that too." And some successful people don't because they're happy where they're at and they're happy with the progress they made to get there. Now, some may have gotten the easy shovel, but that's not everybody. So why is it that we feel like we need an easy shovel? Why do we feel like we need to have the same stats as everybody else? Why do we need to live the same life as everybody else? And I think that comes from just the thought and the feeling of just being lonely. And we're not actually lonely in real life. We're just lonely up here. So our thoughts get misconstrued and we start thinking and feeling like, oh, well, I need this. I need this to be happy. I need that. I need, it's just dumb to me. I don't like the fact that we have to, or we program our minds to think that way. Why is it that us as human beings have to think that way? I've never understood it, and I don't think I ever will. But I know one thing: I won't allow myself again to fall in that dark pit of not believing in myself. And I think that's where a lot of my peace comes from, is constantly believing in myself. Another example, I think I talked about this last episode. I'm not gonna be too on it, but just the thought of what I'm doing now as far as like this podcast and my job, even Twitch and streaming. I know that I'm very talented in a lot of different ways. I know that I can do so many things if I put my mind to it. From when I was a young boy to now, from doing sports to switching over and starting adulthood, from being bad at one game to developing my skills to where I'm getting better every day. And that's besides the point, but that's still something that I'm working on. I just see progress every day. And a lot of times I would compare myself to a lot of these other people that have been doing it for so long, and they're starting to hit their stride. They're starting to get better at a lot of things. They're starting to, grow an audience. They're starting to, just everything that comes with what it is that content creation is. And I would doubt myself. I would just get down on myself. I was very negative. I was always self-doubting, just like, man, like I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as these other guys. I'm not them. And it took me so long, like even before the therapy, to just understand like I can't be them. I have to be me. And that means I have to be authentic. Funny I say that because that's kind of that's what I told everybody when I started this. I want to be authentic. I want to tell my own story. I want to be original. And so just comparing myself and telling myself that I'm not good was just cluttering my mind, because the more I said it, the more I felt it, and the more I lived it. And sure, you could sit here and tell me, no, don't do that to yourself. That's not good. Blase, blase, blah. But that was just the way I thought. Getting older and maturing and mentally and emotionally, and also building that spiritual relationship with God, it allowed me to change in so many different ways. And when I say change, I mean just a lot of things I was doing before, I'm not doing anymore. Then took the step of searching out for help, which was therapy. And taking what my therapist said, along with me putting in place the things that I wanted to do and the things that I felt would be necessary to help me on my journey, has allowed me to feel a feeling I haven't felt in years. And that's going all the way back to childhood. I used to just be happy a lot of the times. I used to enjoy the little things. I used to enjoy playing the game. I enjoyed just going outside and playing with friends, basketball, football. Those are my three things, I'm sorry, that I enjoyed so much. Sports, games, and just being myself. But over time, I just slowly started to decrease that part of my life that was peaceful to me. And like I said, after going through the therapy and challenging myself outside of therapy to develop my happiness and peace again, I now feel it again. And it's been so wonderful for me. I've been able to have a clear mind. I've been also able to have an understanding that Yeah, life may get rough sometimes. Life may bring out the worst emotion you can think possible, but it's about taking what I've learned and taking what I've developed and using it in everyday life, knowing that I am okay. I'm just simply okay. I don't think there's ever anything in life that is that detrimental that I have to feel like I'm just not doing well or that I'm failing or that I'm not cool enough or that I'm not good enough. And the list goes on and on and on. I know me personally, and just the many talks that I've had with people, that I am a lot of things in a good way. I have flaws. We all have flaws, but I'm not going to let that deteriorate the good things that I already possess. So, again, circling back to finding that peace, just blocking out the noise, loving on me more, and just telling myself every day, you're going to make it. You're going to be okay. I think that's been the most rewarding part about growth and loving myself and knowing myself self-worth. That's been those things have been the most rewarding parts about finding my peace, because not only am I finding those things, but I'm also genuinely happy and genuinely just being myself and enjoying the small things that I call rewards for myself. It may not be something that's so flashy and just out there in the open, but just the fact that I can do this podcast, just the fact that I can play the game, just the fact that I can, share my thoughts with people and feel like I'm actually heard and seen, that puts me at peace. And yeah, I may not hear it all the time, but knowing in my head that I'm helping somebody along their journey and helping them find an understanding for themselves, I couldn't ask for nothing more. And I pray for anybody and everybody that wants to find their peace, that I encourage you to just go search for it, and not necessarily search for it, but find those things in your life that you want to bring peace to. And if it's just bringing peace to yourself and not these other things, then focus on that. Don't overwhelm yourself, but definitely focus on that pinpoint that you're trying to get to, that's going to allow you to feel better about yourself and a lot of things that you think aren't going right. Because 9 times out of 10, they could just be small fixes. It's just because you've had it lingers for so long that it doesn't feel like it's going to be back to normal. But I guarantee you it will. All it takes is time, practice, and motivation. And I guarantee you'll get back to that point where you felt you were the happiest and you were at your highest. So, I say that all that to say this: you can find your peace again and you can be at peace again, but it has to come from you and it has to start with this. So don't forget, keep pushing and keep striving, and you'll get where you need to be. Now that we got that out the way, let's talk about this music. And I'm trying not to be angry about this, but oh my gosh, I'm so fed up with y'all playing this Kendrick song. I really, really am. I'm so for real. Like, that beef was so pointless. They've been beefing with each other or having so-called conjured up feelings, whatever. They've been feeling this way about each other for a long time. And yes, it is okay to have a beef and drop diss songs about each other. Whatever, cool. If that's what you're gonna do, that's what you're gonna do. At the end of the day, it was that was probably one of the weakest beefs I've ever seen. Don't get me wrong though. Uh, There were some good tracks, but at the end of the day, I think it was super pointless because it's like, okay, Drake and, or not even Drake. I don't know. I could have missed a couple songs where he may have given Kendrick his props, but they've been beefing, so I don't think he would do that. But J. Cole mentioned them being the big three, right? So why is it fuck the big three? Excuse my language. But still, it's like, bro, Kendrick, be for real. And Drake, be for real. Y'all beefing about God knows what. And y'all been on the same song together multiple times. So all of a sudden there's beef. And it's crazy because they're both wrong on both sides. It's ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, again, I like Kendrick. I think Kendrick's a great artist. I think he's one of the best artists in the world right now. But I also need Drake to just do him, bro. That's how I feel about it. That's what J. Cole did. That's why he stepped out of the rap beef. He didn't have to diss Kendrick, but he did it anyways because of peer pressure. Let's be real. And then he later deleted the song, which there's nothing wrong with that. I respect that more than anything at the end of the day. But none of all that's besides the point. Please, for the love of God, stop playing that Kendrick diss. I don't want to hear it again. I don't want to see the video. The visual was cool, whatever, but it's just, oh my gosh. Y'all are really overdoing it with that song. I can't. It's annoying. Old Kendrick's cool, but y'all keep playing the same song, and I'm getting real agitated by it. That song is not that good. I think people are only calling it good because Kendrick does not drop consistently like these other artists, and that's okay. I think that's what makes him unique. He's not dropping a bunch of songs every week or album every week, but he's still doing his thing. So please let that song go. It would do me a favor. If you're in my car and you ask me to play that, I'm just gonna look at you and I'm gonna keep driving. Simple. If I'm in anybody else's car and they play a song, I'm just gonna just not say anything to you and just sit there. But anyways, moving on to the movies. I recently just started watching the show called The Boys, and it's not a movie, but it very well could turn into a movie. I don't know. Watching The Boys, that show is very much different than I expected it to be. It's a lot of cliffhangers. It's a lot of what ifs. I personally, for one, was not expecting myself to be dragged into that mess, but after watching it and actually listening to the storyline and watching it develop, I think that I can definitely say it's one of the better shows right now. And it's 4 seasons. I'm still on season 1 because the episodes are ridiculously long. So I think that if I could give it a rating, I give that show an 8.5 out of 10, close to a 9. I'm not going to give it a 9 because there's just certain stuff that I feel shouldn't be part of that show. And I'm going to stick to that. I'm standing on that 100%. So I give it an 8.5 out of 10. There can be a lot that's better, but also it is still good with a lot of good storylines. So kudos to them, whoever's creating it, whoever's keeping it. And this may because it's only season 1 and I'm just getting started, but 8.5 out of 10. And that's all I have to say about it. So you don't like my answer? Tough kumquats. I don't even know what a kumquat is. I might not even be saying it right. Who cares? But with that being said, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope my message was helpful. And I hope you guys find your peace as well as I found mine. I'm getting out of here. I love y'all very much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, turn on the notice, retweet. repost, do all that good stuff. I love you all, and I will see you in the next one. Bakery family. Peace. I love you.
Yeah, we rolling, we doing our thing. Hey, bad little shawty, she looking for me, but I gotta keep a low profile, can't get exposed.